What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Taste Like Music. Jason, Joe, and Crams are here. Time for a resequencer, where we take the tracks from a classic album where we feel that the sequencing isn't great, and we try to put them in a better order. We're a few weeks removed now from Bob Marley week, but during that week, we discussed the, I guess, depending on your point of view, the poor sequencing of Exodus. So we are now each going to take a crack at an alternate track listing. Who wants to give theirs first?
I do, because I want to lead off with having gone through this album again this week. I like it even more, and it's getting pretty close to 4 stars and probably wouldn't be 5th in my Marley ranking. So Marley's seeping into me a little bit. So I don't know how this resequencing is going to go. It makes sense to me. I don't know if it's that much better, but I kind of like it. I don't think anyone else is going to like it too, especially because of one thing that I do that I think is going to rub people the wrong way. But I'm leading off with Waiting in Vain. Literally has a vocal countdown to start it off. So you got that. It's a bit faster and a bit louder, a bit more pulse than most of the other stuff on the album. So you're starting off with some of that energy. Here's where I'm going to lose at least 90% of the population. My 2 spot, I'm going with the title track Exodus, which is 7.5 minutes long. The reason why I'm doing that here in the 2 hole is it's kind of like a 1A opener to me, where I want it to be kind of this all-encompassing overture for the themes of the album. Gives it like kind of a stamp, a statement, being like, here's Exodus, here it is. It's dense. I feel like it's a really good thematic opener. But opening with Waiting in Vain is just like a little bit of a cushion to give you like this nice, decent little track that's kind of upbeat. And then it's like, all right, welcome to the album. Here's what it is. Boom, 7.5 minutes. And you kind of get those big piano vibes, which I think are kind of like tension grabbing. You get those big organ sounds. So then I think it's kind of like a nice 1-2 punch. Then you kind of cool off a little bit in the 3 hole. I'm going Natural Mystic, ease into it, kind of chill out of like the levity of Exodus. I like how it slowly gets louder. Number 4, I think this comes after Natural Mystic in the actual order. Number 4, I'm going So Much Things to Say. I think it kind of cheers everything up and gives it a little bit of a sunnier and lighter disposition. 5 hole, 5 spot, I'm going Three Little Birds, getting maybe the biggest hit on the album right in the middle there. It's got this big sing-along chorus to it. Like by now, you're kind of like relaxed with the album and you can kind of get the hooks going. Going with One Love right after that at number 6. Really beautiful song. Got the big backing vocals. 7, bring it down a little bit with Guiltiness. I think bridges the gap. Going into number 8, which I've got The Heathen. I think that's back-to-back with Guiltiness on the actual album. And I think it gets a little bit darker there and heavier. So like you start the album out nice and dense, and then you kind of like ease into it. You get some catchy stuff, and now it's kind of like reverting back a little bit. After The Heathen, I'm going with Turn Your Lights Down Low. Toward the end, nice, gorgeous, mellow, kind of slow dance kind of feel. Getting ready to send you off into the sunset with Jammin'. Just closing out with Jammin', the simplest lyrics on the album. Just kind of keep dancing. He's literally like wishing you off. Like, I hope you like jamming too. I think it's a great goodbye as you kind of sail away on your canoe, smoking some weed. Credits roll kind of feel. So yeah, I'm going Waiting in Vain, Exodus, Natural Mystic, So Much Things to Say, Three Little Birds, One Love, Guiltiness, The Heathen, Turn Your Lights Down Low, and Jammin'. What do you think?
Could work, other than Exodus and the 2 hole, which ruins the whole thing.
Well, I told you that's my grand idea. Go big or go home, baby.
Now, were you thinking of the 2 sides thing, or are you just going like straight through like a playlist would today?
Just playlisting. Fuck the sides. One album, damn it. I don't have sides no mo.
I'll go next. All right, my first track on this record, I'm opening with Jamming, the opposite of Cram. I think that opening drum fill is a good way to kick into the record. A little bit more upbeat than the actual opener, Natural Mystic. And I think it's a good intro to the sound of the record. Then I'm going with Natural Mystic in the 2 spot. Slightly slower, but you kind of need to spread out the side 2 hits a little bit, so get some of that side 1 action in here. It's kind of got a similar vibe, so I think they flow into one another nicely. Number 3, I've got So Much Things to Say, which I think is the best song on the original side 1. Some nice backing vocals, a little bit bouncier, picking things up a tiny bit. And then I think by that point, the first 3 tracks are kind of similar in tempo. I'm going to slow it down, a little change up by the 4 hole. So I'm going with Turn Your Lights Down Low. Get a little bit of a different feel with this one. It's got a little bit more of an R&B vibe. It's less overtly reggae. Then going the 5 hole, Waiting in Vain, arguably the best song on the record, a very strong melody. I think a slight bump up in energy from Turn Your Lights Down Low, but nothing crazy. It kind of lets side 1 close on a mellow but hopeful note. Then you're going to turn the record over. First song on side 2, you're going to get One Love, People Get Ready. Could have also opened the whole record, but I like it as an opener in general. So we're going to open side 2 with it. Kind of feels like a mission statement, so I like it as an opener. Number 7, Guiltiness. Had to go with either this or Heathen for this spot, I felt like. And I like the way the opening drum fill works out of People Get Ready. So going with that in the 7 spot, and then in the 8 spot going Heathen, which is kind of a dark track, but I think it works coming out of Guiltiness. Really, I don't know. That was a tough one to place. The only kind of good spot for it was out of Guiltiness. Then going Three Little Birds, everything's going to be all right. You got this lightness and this positivity after Heathen, and then close out with Exodus, which for me is so repetitive and just a total momentum killer. Last spot was the only place for me to put it. So there you go.
Interesting. Okay, a couple similarities there with Jason. I'm starting that off with jamming, and basically for the same things. Jason said, that little drum fill. It's very poppy. It's it's got a great groove, and it just kicks things off on a nice upbeat feel. And I think that was the biggest problem with the original Exodus, is you got to wait so long to get that like upbeat feel. I want it right off the bat. I want it first track, puts you in the mood. Boom, there you go. After that, I'm going with another hit. I'm going Waiting in Vain. Basically, just taking side 2, first 2 tracks, putting them on side 1. I think those are the 2 best tracks on the album. 2 Bob Marley's best tracks that he has. I think it works. And, I'm actually going to keep the flow a little bit of the original, at least the way things end and lead into another. I got Natural Mystic going into So Much Things to Say, which is the first 2 tracks on side 1 in the original album. I feel like they work together. Natural Mystic, you get a little bit of that political stuff going on. It's a little slower. Then you get So Much Things to Say, kind of brings it up again, a little bouncier, a little more up tempo. Then we're gonna end side 1 with One Love. I think it's a good way to end the first side. You got 3 big hits on there and 2 pretty solid tracks from the original. I think pretty strong side 1, which is what you want. You want side 1, or if Cramsey's not doing the sides, you want the first tracks there to really catch you, grab you, bring you in. We'll get a little more difficult on side 2, but not right off the bat. We're going to Three Little Birds. Again, I mean, at this point, you're wondering, will the hits ever stop? And eventually they will, because there's only one left. But it feels like probably a 5-star album at this point, because you're just getting hit over the head with hit, hit, hit. And that is the problem I had with Exodus, even though I guess I got to 5 stars with it, because side 2 is just unbelievable. But it takes a little while to get there, and it feels like the album is so lopsided that it's hard to go 5 stars. It's just tougher to get through. You just want to get to side 2 and get all these hits in you, and you got to go through the side 1, the political stuff, Natural Mystic, the Heathen, Exodus. It's a little more challenging. So after Three Little Birds, we're going to go with another hit, the R&B styled Turn Your Lights Down Low. So reverse that from the original album, where you had Turn Your Lights Down Low going into Three Little Birds. I think it works either way. Those 2 fit together nicely. Either way you flip them. Then we'll go Guiltiness and Heathen, like they are on the original release. I think you want those kind of buried a little bit at the end, because they are the most politically overt. They are the most difficult to get through. And you need to put them somewhere. And I don't want them kind of disrupting that really nice flow we got going. And then you close things off with Exodus. I think it's the perfect kind of fade out. You run it into the groove, basically, kind of thing. I like it. I know Jason doesn't, but I really like the horns, the backing vocals. I love Marley's laugh in the beginning. I think it's just, the best way to end an album with the longer runouts track. So that would be my ending. So I got Jamming, Waiting in Vain, Natural Mystics, So Much Things to Say, One Love, and then Three Little Birds, Turn Your Lights Down Low, Guiltiness, Heathen, and Exodus. So I'm not messing with the flow too much, just, evening it out so that you get some hits on both sides and make it a little easier to get through. You don't want to start on side B so much anymore.
All right. Well, let us know if you have a preferred track list that you've come up with. Drop it down in the comments. Let us know which one of our 3 lists you think works the best. And if you're one of those people, as there are every time we do this, that thinks it's fine the way it is, leave it alone, let us know that as well. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, and check all the links in the video description. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.